Spec Ops The Line, FUBAR Difficulty Guide, Chapter 10, Rigs Part 2. So this whole video is kind of sucks, just because it's like I found to be two of the hardest parts in the game, at least for me. Just because the first part is just, it's a very close quarters area, so you get a lot of guys that will rush you and like melee you, and they either will like kill you in one hit depending on if you've taken damage, or they'll melee you and then immediately shoot you if you don't act quick enough on it. The other issue is that the first area is that some of the soldiers that come in, they have, I guess they have like extra body armor, because they take a hell of a lot more bullets to put them down than the other soldiers do. They're like special, like elite soldiers or some shit. They're really annoying. And it really doesn't help the fact that that I only have like flashbangs right now. And I only vaulted through the pane of glass just because it looked cool. There's really no need to do that. That's one of the other things I mentioned before for like the ammo refills and the grenade things, that if you use one, get a checkpoint, die, that ammo thing will be will not have been used. It like refills itself. But amazing, like for this particular time through, I managed not to die here, which actually really surprised me, because I think when I went through this area on normal and hard, I'm pretty sure I died at least once both times. But I managed to actually get through this entire section without dying. What you want to do is, after the initial group of guys that come in, you have a bit of a time period before the next wave, like the heavily armored troops come in. Like not heavy, like the big motherfuckers. They just have like a lot better body armor than the normal soldiers do. And I actually ended up getting lucky with those two guys, that I was able to melee and then get the execution on the second one. And I think I ended up getting the execution on this guy when things were clear. But when you take care of that first wave of soldiers, just very quickly just kind of run out there and try and collect any of the ammo that you might be able to get from them. I barely got back before that flashbang got thrown in. Otherwise I probably would have gotten killed if I was closer to the desks than my teammates like I was. And really just staying on this side works the best. After the initial wave of I guess I'm gonna call them the elite soldiers, it's more the regular soldiers that come in, so they're easier to kill than the last set of guys. and you know, use the attack command, use the stun command if you get the option. And hopefully, if you're lucky enough, you won't die like I did, or like I would have. But but yeah, you know, once the area is clear, then we come to the second kind of, the more bullshit really of the two. Mainly because you really don't have a lot of areas to use cover, and all the way towards the back of where you need to get to, there's a mounted turret, and eventually a heavy comes through. So I found going this way was easier, just because it seemed like I had better cover on this side, and also that container of sticky grenades was there, which come in very handy against the heavy when he eventually does show up. The way you want to take out the mounted turret is by the mounted turret on the ground there's a explosive canister that you want to shoot. I just stayed by this car just because if I went to the barrier, it left me more open to get flanked easier than it would be by this car. The only issue, you know, getting assholes throwing grenades at you, and both my teammates are down. That's when the heavy decides to show up, and I fuck up that grenade throw. And then there's that issue of you wanting to go into cover, but the game decides, oh, you're trying to revive your teammate, so you're reviving him out of cover, and that more often than not is how I would die when I would go to revive my teammate. So actually I was talking about saving those sticky grenades for the heavy, and I actually ended up wasting them. So but thankfully Adams came in handy and threw a grenade at that big motherfucker, and I got panicked here because I'm surprised I didn't die right there. I got very lucky, and at this point I only have the mounted turret to deal with, but like I say, you just hit the gas canister, and that really does it for this section. And I will see you in the next part, which is not so much of a hard section if you kind of follow what I do. Make sure you try and leave this area with the M4A1, because the silencer is gonna come in handy for the next section.
That's all of them. Come on, we're almost there. You boys secured the